Hey, it's another week. It's another Manfuzed Podcast. Today we are going to talk about why men take a long time to shit. Why is that? We're going to get into it. And then we're going to address an email from a listener in the UK who was wanting some advice about his 25-year-old girlfriend.
Nice.
Who said some really mean, Ben.
Yeah.
Shit to him. I don't know if you could ever get past it, and we will address it. I am Kay Lee, audio producer, voice artist, sitting here with my co-host, as always, Ben H., real estate mogul, crooner.
Boom, with the red Oakley lenses. It's like 1950s meets 1990s meets...
I have some Pradas like that have those lenses, and it's because I scratched the original ones and I had to buy some replacement lenses.
Prada sunglasses used to be just... awesome.
Yeah. Even Gucci sunglasses. I used to have some pimp-ass Gucci's.
Remember
like
that
movie
dude
star.
you met that one time that bought you a Gucci watch?
That was a good
story. It was
story.
like a $5,000 Gucci watch. And you were like, dude, you are not going to believe. Wait till you see this watch. And, dude, that was at a time in our lives when...
$5,000.
we weren't balling or nothing.
No, not at all.
And I'm not saying $5,000's not a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. But it was a lot more at that point. Let's back it up.
Who
was this guy?
I was I was in between careers, kind of. I think you and I had kind of just stopped doing real estate because in 07, 08, we were working on some big deals together, some apart, but some together.
Yeah.
And the bank stopped handing out money. And so that put a lot of deals gone. I think you got out of real estate shortly after, and I was like, you know what, I'm bored. I was like, chasing these deals. I was kind of defeated. I was working at the W Hotel as a welcome ambassador.
Yes.
Now, as a welcome ambassador, I had the hustle of valeting cars, which was
killing it.
And I ran a super hustle on the valet at.
You even got me a job there.
I did.
Remember?
For a little
and then
bit.
I got my brother a job there.
You did, right? Oh shit. Okay, so we had the whole crew working.
The whole crew was running valet at the W.
Right, but not only were you a valet, but you also were a bellhop, and
That's
you
right.
also got to play concierge. Now, when it came to concierge, people would ask you to get them a limo, maybe get them some weed, maybe get them whatever they needed.
Exactly.
And I'm a hustler.
Yeah, and
so
so
I
you
had
would get them whatever they
side
needed.
hustles going left and right. I mean, I'm not going to say I did anything majorly illegal. I might have walked a gray line.
You might have been in the gray space. You were helping guests, find what they needed.
The W's motto was whatever, whenever. And I ensured
you embodied it.
I embodied that motto. There was a young Indian guy that would come up from Alabama. And when he came up, this dude, his last name was Patel.
Interesting.
And when he came up, he would throw money around like water. Get me a limo.
It was
I'd get
crazy.
him a limo.
He's just blowing money like I've never seen.
I think what I found out later on, he passed away, sadly.
I
think
heard,
he
like from
OD'd.
drugs or something,
I think
right? He OD'd?
Right.
Because the guy was just going balls to the wall, like on everything. Strip clubs, money,
limos.
everywhere, limos, jewelry.
And he...
probably a little, Atlanta snow.
Oh, yeah, he was a snow blower.
On the Buckhead ski team.
Yeah, he was. He was going down those powdery slopes. This guy was the captain of the ski team.
He was.
So on one of his visits, we had a Lincoln Navigator that we would shuttle because this particular W Hotel was like right across from a very high-end mall. So if a guest wanted to be shuttled over to the mall or a restaurant close, I'd make that happen. Which is
you'd take them.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You were the guy.
Well, if
taking them where they needed to go, getting the tip, picking them up.
Right. Well, and that was the thing. If you got a hold of the customer first, and you were like, listen, anything you need, you come to me. So therefore, they're skipping the official concierge. I'm making them reservations. I'm getting kickbacks. I'm getting limo kickbacks.
Boom.
I'm getting car share kickbacks. This is before Uber. Comes down and he's like, my glasses broke. Bifocals or whatever. And he's like, I need to get to the mall. He needed to go to a mall further away, which was technically out of my jurisdiction for driving.
However,
whatever, whenever. So I bring him, it's like the Rodeo Drive of malls.
Was it Phipps?
It was Phipps
Yeah,
Plaza.
yeah.
All
Baller.
the high-end stores, Versace,
Yes.
Gucci, I mean, you name it. All the high-end stores are
Have
there.
their flagship stores like there.
Yes, you're going to spend some damn money. So he needs to go to Lens Crafters. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, they keep a Rolls Royce in the big atrium area.
Correct. This isn't the first time I've taken care of this guy. I've gotten him stretch limos before. I've actually been out with him in some of the limos.
Maybe to the strip club, maybe not.
We didn't go to a strip club, but we went to the Lobster Bar, which is like a secret.
Oh, nice,
And I
yeah.
mean, this dude dropped a ton of money. The other concierge, I'm like, hey, I'm going to bolt out for a minute, cover me, throw him $30 so he can cover my back. I'm
Right.
shuttling guests they don't know. I drive down to Phipps, take him. We go in, he gets stuff taken care of. We're walking out, and I'm kind of standing there like in front of the Gucci store, and he's like, let's go in. And I'm like, cool, all right, let's go in. And we're just kind of looking around, and I go over to the glass case and I look, and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty badass watch. And I don't know if I was like secretly hoping he was gonna like buy me something, but to the person behind the counter, he's like, hey, can you pull out that watch right there? And he's like, try it on. And I'm like, really? Okay. Try it on. I'm like,
It's even more beautiful than you thought.
yeah, I mean, I have regrets though, dude, because the Rolex store was right across the street. And if you don't know anything about watches, yeah, you can spend $5,000 on a Gucci watch, but it is not going to hold its value. Like when you walk out the store, that thing's cut in half.
Easily,
if that,
man.
Easily.
It's just a piece of metal.
Right. But if you have a Rolex, I mean, and I don't even find a lot of Rolexes that attractive in my personal taste.
Well, they're simple but elegant, but it's a quality.
It is a quality, and they have such a brand recognition.
Oh, it's crazy.
So you 10 years down the road could sell a Rolex and get close to the amount you paid for it, if not more, depending on how well
Are
it's
you
been.
aware of what's going on in the Rolex market right now?
No, I'm not, Ben.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. In the sport watches like the Submariner and the GMT and the Daytona, let's say MSRP on a black Submariner is like $8,500,
Okay.
but you can't get one.
Why? They don't have chips in
They
it.
all get bought up from the authorized dealers, and guess how much they are on the secondary market? $20K.
Why?
If you could get Submariner, GMT, if you can get a jewelry store, an authorized I will buy it on the spot, and I'll split the profit with you if you can find one. Any kind of Rolex sport watch. Matter of fact, any brand new Rolex watch right now, MSRP, dude, you can make money immediately. If you can get a Rolex from an authorized dealer, you can immediately sell it and make cash.
So they're being bought up.
Even the old ones have doubled in value. I've got an older like Submariner with the blue, right? And dude, probably a year ago, it was worth $8,000. It's worth $18,000 now.
Fuck. Why? They don't have chips in them?
The green one, it's called the Hulk. Bro, MSRP on this thing's $8,500, right? The Hulk. I was complaining about it when it was $10,000, $10,500, $11,000.
It's like $25,000.
It's $30,000 now.
Why?
Supply and demand, dude. They are in such high demand. You cannot find them at authorized dealers. They all get bought and resold in the secondary market. It's unbelievable.
So no authorized dealers have any.
They get them. They have lists of people who are like VIPs who will come in and buy.
It's like the Nike shoes.
$100,000, but you can't even wait in line for these things, dude. They're out. They're gone as soon as they get a report of what they're receiving from Rolex, and they call their list of people. Everything is sold before they even get to the store, dude.
So you're saying I need a connection to get
At Brown and Company, at Mayors, dude, any kind of jeweler connection, but they have to be an authorized dealer of Rolex. Otherwise, it's just secondary market.
So you're saying you can't go into Mayors and buy a sports Rolex?
No, there's no way. Let me put it to you this way. I have a client, okay, who I went with to Buckhead.
I remember this.
About a month ago in his Bentley.
Right.
Okay, and he bought $100,000 worth of Rolexes from an aftermarket dealer, not an authorized dealer, from an aftermarket. These were aftermarket watches. And
were they used?
Yeah.
Okay.
Used Rolex. He spent $96,000.
How many did he get?
Cash. 6. He got 6 rollies.
And he paid cash.
Paid cash.
Did he have a briefcase?
Yes. He said the cash been sitting in the safe. He said with inflation, the cash is actually worth less than it was 2 years ago. If I had Rolexes, it'd be worth double or triple. He said, so I'm just going to get some that I can, wear whenever I want to wear them. And he got, 6 beautiful watches.
Any diamonds in any of them?
No, those are actually worth less.
Why?
Supply and demand, dude. People don't want them. People don't want the diamonds.
Really?
Actually, the stainless steel watches. The stainless steel, it's called the Panda Daytona. Daytona, it's got a white back with like black dials on the sub watches. It's got like second and minute and so forth for the timing. Anyway, the Panda, MSRP $12,500. I think it's $43,000, $44,000 right now. Are you looking it up?
Dude, that's nuts.
It's crazy. Stainless steel watches are actually worth more. Like Patek Philippe, Rolex, and there are others. Rolex probably makes, I think they make like 1 million watches a year.
Right.
Patek Philippe has never made 1 million watches in its entirety. It hasn't made 1 million timepieces yet.
Because he's exclusive.
And they've been around since the 1800s. Those things, dude, you can't even find them. If you can, they're double. You're talking
100K?
Yeah, well, that's the MSRP. It'd be $200K.
And I think they're ugly watches, too. Like, I don't even find them, attractive. I need to get a hookup on that secondary market. But getting back to my story.
If you do, I'll split the profit with you.
Okay, I'm going to hunt it down.
Or if I decide to keep the watch, I'll pay you whatever the half the profit would have been.
Okay.
Back to the story. You walked out with $5,000?
It was like 55.
So $6,000 diamond
Gucci watch.
Gucci watch.
Bling, bling.
Dude, at that moment in time, what did he say? Just said, we'll take it or what?
Yeah, he was like, I had it on my wrist and I took it off and I'm like, yeah, man, that's beautiful. And I handed it back and he goes, we'll take it.
Dang.
And I was like, looking at him like, looking at her. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at her. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, did that just have, like,
is that, and then,
I'm not buying it.
And then he gave her his credit card.
Swiped it.
Swiped, cleared, and I fucking, dude, when I went back.
Did you give him a hug?
Fuck yeah. I was like, dude, I don't know what to say. Thank you. Do you want to reach around? Like, I don't know. Like,
Gay for pay?
Yeah.
I bet the ride back from Phipps Mall was awkward.
I'm sitting there like.
You're like, yeah. He's like, watch the road.
Yeah. I'm sitting there staring at my wrist. And dude, when I got back, I ran up to my coworkers. And I was like, dude, you'll never believe
it's like
what
the
just
ultimate
happened.
tip, dude.
Dude, it was the ultimate tip. Dude, I don't know anybody else working as a bellhop at a fucking hotel.
No.
That walks away.
Stuff like that only happens to strippers.
Yeah. Yeah, people that are sucking cock for money.
Right.
Oh, that was some good head. Here's a present.
We'll take it.
Yeah, right. I ain't your Huckleberry.
Oh, my God.
But, dude, what a great story. Thank you for reminding me.
It was an amazing
It is
story.
sad to say that he did pass away. He did OD. I found out years later when I stopped working there because I ended up getting fired from the W Hotel eventually. I had many, many close calls where they had suspected of my
side hustles.
And
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, because, dude, you pull up in your Maybach.
Right.
You don't want to be parked with the rest of the cars.
Nope.
But I will put you right up in the VVVIP.
Triple VIP.
People give me a $100 bill. Boom.
Boom.
You think I
Done.
gave it to the hotel?
Nope.
Fuck no. In my pocket.
That's right.
And that's how you hustle. That's how you hustle.
It's a $20 spot. You get 100. You give them 20. You take the 80.
I didn't give them anything.
You didn't give me anything.
No, I just put it in my fucking pocket. Because if they asked me, I said, I don't charge those people. Because I didn't give them a price.
Right. It was a tip.
It was a tip. The way
So you weren't
word
lying.
it. Right. The way you word it, just take care of me.
Yeah.
And I'll put you right there. I'll leave you
Boom.
right up front.
Boom.
I got your keys. Oh, you want your keys? You can hold your keys too. Because if it's a basketball player and a fucking $350,000
I'm not handing over
Maybach,
my keys, dude. Yeah, some people want to hold their keys.
and some people want to park it themselves.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's less work for me. But
All the better.
that spot is worth money.
Yeah, because absolutely it is.
So that was an awesome moment. Thank you, Ben. I totally forgot about that. I ended up selling that watch eventually,
What'd you get for it?
like $800.
Was it before or after you learned of his death that you sold the watch?
It was after. I just felt, I don't know. I just felt.
Did his death diminish the watch for you?
I mean, I kind of felt a little sleazy.
It had like a G on it, didn't it?
For Gucci.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the House of Gucci.
$5,000. Dude.
5,500.
Unreal.
Yeah. All right. I need an answer to an age-old question, an observation. These moments in my own life, but
Yes.
Reddit brought it back to my attention.
Yeah.
Why is it that men take so long to take a shit? I mean, if you think about it, you think about your family.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, my wife is always like, "Oh, where's your dad?" Talking to my kids.
Yeah.
He's in the bathroom. He's going to be in there an hour.
Yeah.
Why am I in there an hour? Well, if I had to answer honestly, with 3 kids, 4 dogs, because that's one of the only places I get solitude.
To sit down and just have a break.
Right. Now, these days, I mean, if I brought my phone in there, back
You
in
might
the
be on
day.
the scroll, on the reel.
Yeah, right. I might be looking at some Facebook, whatever.
Running TikTok.
Yeah, whatever. Watching some booties bouncing on TikTok.
Booty talk.
Back in the day before phones, you think about your grandparents, maybe. I don't know if that happened in your family where grandpa would disappear with the newspaper and he'd be in there for 45
the
minutes.
old school, it's the old school TikTok, bro. You just get locked in.
Right. So, I mean, maybe that's not the answer for everyone, but it's almost an escape. It's a place where I can be sort of left alone. I like to sit there till my legs go numb.
That's how you know.
Old poop legs.
That's old doo-doo leg.
Old doo-doo leg. Now, Ben, do you sit in there longer than your wife does?
Definitely.
You have a Toto toilet.
Yes.
Which is a whole nother realm of like, put that fucker on oscillate and clean my butthole.
Yeah.
Right?
It's amazing.
But
full service.
Full service.
Full service.
Heated
all the
seats.
way. Heated seats, sprayer.
Tell me about it, because
Well, it's a situation where, as a man, you may experience that, you're sitting there, you're trying to clean yourself, and it just takes forever. I mean, let's be honest. You're taking a dry piece of paper. Let's just make this example. Go outside and wipe mud on your arm.
right.
Now, take a dry paper towel and try to wipe it off.
Adam Carolla said nobody likes the idea of trying to get peanut butter out of a shag carpet.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a great example.
I'm wiping an endless brown crayon.
Endless. You just sit there, a whole fucking roll of toilet paper, whereas
right.
for a price, you can get a beautiful Japanese Toto toilet, which is the one I recommend.
Right, it's the one you have.
It's the one I have.
Whose toilet did you sit on before deciding? Because did you ever sit on one
Yes.
before you bought yours?
Absolutely. Yes.
Were you at a friend's house who had one?
I've had friends' houses, multiple friends who have them, and
He associates with the very posh people.
No, some people don't even have the high-end ones. They just have like the toilet seat attachment.
They have the attachment. It looks like
the one you get at like Home Depot for $89.
It's like the geriatric version.
Yeah.
Who's the old fuck that sits on that thing? Meanwhile,
Yeah.
while I'm at my house, I don't have even that, and I'm sitting on a toilet seat that is way too small for my ass. So I end up shitting
You're
on
on a
the
little kid toilet.
I end up shitting on the seat a lot.
Gross. Oh, it's so gross. But yeah, dude. I mean,
you ever have one of those?
yeah, of course, everyone has. But at the end of the day, man, you press the button, and the spraying commences. And they've got this thing dialed in. I mean, I guess we're all very similar because
it knows my spots.
I just ordered this thing, and out of the box, it hits dead center.
Really?
Yeah, it's very accurate. You can adjust it however you like it. And, you sit there for a couple minutes after you're done, and I'm talking clean
You have the
toilet paper.
You don't even use toilet paper.
No, you just to
Dry off.
That's it. Clean.
Like you could eat off of it.
Well, yeah, exactly. You couldn't, but someone else could.
Thank you, Ben. Damn, I was hoping I would get an invite. Oh my God.
The carpet munchers.
Oh my God. You have one kid,
Yes.
so your house is chaotic at times. Even one child can cause a bit of chaos. And
Well, we all
noise.
have our moments, but I'm sure with 3, it's a lot more chaotic.
Well, those moments can be, yes, multiplied or triggered, like one to the other. And depending on just what kind of mood they're in that day, it could just be, there's no peace and no tranquility
Daunting.
here. Right. By the end of the night, it's like the most stressful time of the day. So when you go in there, is it a time for you to get away?
It's a time to get away. It's a time where you can just sit there and think. With a freaking smartphone, dude, I mean, it's a journey. I mean, you can do anything. You can listen to a podcast. You can buy something on
The
freaking
Manfuzed
Amazon.
Podcast.
You can do so much
Right.
in,
It's all at your
10,
fingertips.
15, 20 minutes.
You can catch up on a bunch of work. You can catch up.
Yeah, you might be checking emails. You might be answering a work call.
Right. You might be swiping right. You might be swiping left.
You never know.
Never know.
But one thing you're not doing, you're not dealing with whatever it is that's on the other side of that door.
Right. Exactly.
That little closet,
Right.
that little stinky closet is your repose
Yes.
from the world.
It is. And I thought about that because if I was going to start phase 1 of the 75 hard, you have to take time to unplug.
Yes.
Is it meditation? Is that what
10
they call
minutes of dedicated visualization.
it? What better place to visualize than on the shitter?
Well, in the shower is a good place too.
But the crapper.
Yeah. A lot of people do it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
That's why. So, ladies, just because you shit all quick and get out of there in like no time,
That's
don't.
their Are they trained to do that, do you think? Are women trained to just like be like a ghost in the night when it comes to dropping turds?
Well, would you really? Let me ask you a question. That's
A
great.
girl told me one time, little angels come and visit us in the night and take it away in beautiful baggies.
Yeah, that's right. If you had to choose, would you want your wife disappearing for 45 minutes, whatever, and then coming out of that bathroom, and it was just a thing going, woo, that was a real hair puller. I don't
like
even
it
like
the way it is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't really want to picture my wife dropping like a monster fucking dookie. Like that's just awful. I mean, why? Why is that such a double standard? Because it grosses me out, and I don't want to think of my wife in there giving birth to some
Snake turd.
all of a sudden you hear
Well, it's interesting
hear
because, bodily sounds and stuff like that in general is like embarrassing, but for a female, it's like at least 100x.
I guess it just depends on your guy. I'd rather believe you never poop or fart. I'm not one of those dudes that's like constantly shitting on my wife.
Gross.
Like I normally don't, like if I'm in bed, I normally will excuse myself if I've got to let something go versus hold her under the covers for a Dutch oven. I just don't do that. There are some dudes that will. I definitely don't want my wife right next to me. I'd be fucking
On your leg?
Or I'd be grossed the fuck out.
Really?
You wouldn't be?
I guess, yeah.
I guess it doesn't happen in your house that often.
It just doesn't, I don't think about it.
Well, right, because it probably doesn't happen.
Yeah.
She's not just walking by you going,
No.
lifting her leg and taking a shit on your fucking ass. So, ladies, if you want to know why your husband disappears because he wants to take a break from everything that's going on in the chaotic home.
Have you ever just tried to sit down and see what happens? Like how long it'll take for somebody to tell you to do something?
Oh, my God.
Just like in the middle of the night, just go to the couch and just kind of prop yourself up and
Oh, dude.
just kind of
3 seconds and someone will ask me to do something.
3 seconds.
Oh, my God. 5 seconds. I mean, my kids, Dad, can you get me this? Dad, can you get me a water cup? I mean, Dad, can you open this? I mean, dude, it is non-stop. And that's for
Non-stop.
the two that can speak. The little one is just now learning to speak. She's pointing at shit going, eh. Like, I kind of know what you want.
How does it make you feel to have this level of fatherly responsibility?
It's draining. Wouldn't trade it for the world. I love my kids, but it is exhausting. While I would be like, I just want to be left alone for a minute. once they do leave and I'm sitting here by myself, oh my God, it's too quiet.
I know. It's
Like,
crazy.
like, where is everybody? And if I had a Toto toilet, I don't think I'd ever come out of there.
Yeah, you might not.
I'd be slathering cake all over my ass just so it could clean me off.
On the other side of thing, Toto toilet or something like that, even if it's just an attachment, which I understand Kohler makes a good attachment. Anyways, could make the whole process a lot faster.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot more enjoyable.
Oh, okay, I'm going to do that.
We need to get in and out of there a lot faster.
You know what? I need a Toto endorsement. So if you want to make someone's butthole happy, I'll endorse you, Toto.
Yeah.
So, come with me.
They make lots of people.
I will give you a commercial you've never heard before.
You can do like food porn.
Toto, your ass won't be cleaner. Something like that.
It's the truth.
Okay, so Ben, we got to help this listener out, all right?
Okay.
And to any of our listeners throughout the globe, if you need any advice, if you have something going on in your life, drama, you just want to vent, hit us up. Go to manfuzed.com. That is fused with a Z. Or you can go to the manfuzedpodcast.com. Just email us your topic, and we can address it on air. Also, you can pay for an honorable mention, and we will give you a shout out.
We'll say anything you want in one sentence.
That's right. So here is from our listener, and this kind of...
We appreciate the question.
Yes. This guy says, "Hey, Kay Lee and Ben H. I am a 27-year-old man from the UK. I love the podcast and was hoping for a little advice." We're going to call him Damien. That's what he said. Said he's been dating this girl for about 8 months.
Right.
Things were really heavy at first, but recently it hasn't gone completely cold, but it's starting to fizzle. That honeymoon phase might be starting to dwindle.
Dwindle a little. They're starting to they had a couple arguments.
Because the first few months, if it's not completely psychotic, like a Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation, you have that honeymoon phase where we get along so good. We've never had one disagreement.
Not one fight.
And then something happens, and that just changes the dynamic. You see that person react and respond a certain way, which you might have never seen before.
It's a window into the future.
It's a view into what's coming next.
It's true. So
in a conversation the other day, her ex was brought up. What's so funny, Ben? What is so funny?
Oh, nothing.
What's so funny, Ben?
I just think that's funny.
Our listener is... What, you've never had a conversation with your now wife and she brought up an ex that, because you talk about previous relationships?
What was this conversation relative to?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Oh.
Okay. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to finish this now because you started giggling before I even said anything. If I was our listener, I would have just stopped listening by now. Damien, I'm not sure you're going to want to hear the rest of our advice.
All right, sorry, Damien.
Or our reaction.
No, it's fine.
To when Ben H.
I had to get prepared.
When Ben H. gets the remaining details of what was said. Okay.
Poor Damien. After 8 long months.
I just can't.
To find out.
Oh my God, please don't ever email with me with anything this juicy ever again.
To find out that.
Okay, so listen, hold on. Let me finish. I'm not sure how the conversation turned about why they broke up, but I did hear her mention that she couldn't stop having sex with him when they were together.
Oh, yeah.
And that she doesn't have the same desires towards me. Excuse me. She also mentioned...
So wait.
Hold on.
So Damien emailed us, and we're not laughing at you, Damien. We're laughing like with you.
Well, Damien, if
we're
I can...
crying.
If I did, if
As a matter of fact, we're crying with you.
well,
The
Damien,
difference between laughing and crying is so minute, Damien. But basically,
hold on, Ben, I'm not
Yeah.
done. She also mentioned that if she were ranking
if she was ranking,
all the men
oh shit,
she had been with,
yeah.
his dick was number one. The X.
Okay.
And there was no number 2.
Oh my god, Damien, get the hell out of there.
He says, I don't know how to feel. I also don't
Feel ashamed and leave.
I also don't think I could ever put that out of my mind.
Nope, never.
Any advice?
Run, get
Well,
the hell out of there. It's
Damien,
over.
He did go on to say that she prefers his sexual prowess more than her ex's. But I don't think that
What does
that
that
matters.
mean?
Maybe he's a little kinkier.
Oh,
Maybe he's a little bit more adventurous.
okay.
But I don't think even with that
But
compliment,
there's certain
after that
things that can't.
be unheard.
So, do you think that this is a situation where it's a size issue?
Well, that's what it would tell me.
That-
If his dick was number 1 and there was no number 2, I would imagine.
Maybe she likes them small.
Yeah, you could ask her.
I mean, theoretically, girls do say that, a certain level of big is too big. It just
I
hurts.
guess it also depends on the woman because
Maybe
some
Damien is just stacked up like a fucking,
kielbasa.
like a horse, like a thoroughbred.
Well, yeah, but
And so she's just like, God, I wish I had that little dick back.
yeah, I just don't. From the tone of his email, that's not to
Yeah.
me how it was said. But let's take a look. And all joking aside, why would anybody who cares about you, regardless if it was true,
Right.
ever tell you that?
No.
Even if they thought it, she needs to be left immediately.
Yeah.
An insult like that, knowing it's going to fuck with you, knowing you're not going to be able to get that out of your mind.
But maybe she's just being honest. Maybe she's
But-
just being honest. Like, hey, I've been trying, like it's 8 months. I've been trying to do this thing with you. I can't get my mind off my ex. We just had sex like freaking high school kids and it was awesome. And although you're a kinky motherfucker, it just isn't the same, dog. I'm sorry. I mean, it sounds to me like she's on the way out the door. Or is it a situation like, hey, just wanted to let you know my ex was better than you in bed, but everything else is better. Thank you.
Is that a way of her trying to get him to step up his game? But she likes his sexual prowess.
Yeah.
She prefers Damien over her ex in that way. I mean, dude, there's so many.
I think, like you said on an earlier podcast, comparison is the thief of joy. And the problem here is that he now knows that she is comparing him to someone who's not there, a ghost. So basically, he's going to end up with a complex.
Which is what I think she wants. You think that's a way of taking control, like fucking with his mind? Because some women, I'm not saying they can play mind games.
Yeah.
To me, if she's not gone and she's still trying to be with you,
Well,
and I
here-
don't know the
okay.
dynamic of the relationship.
So I think that there's a common illusion just in general and something that guys don't really want to talk about or whatever. And the truth is, you're probably not the best that your woman has ever had. Maybe you are.
And you're probably not her first choice either.
Yeah, but you're yeah, exactly. I mean, so let's be honest. We all have this fear that we know is true.
That would crush our egos.
But it's like that Chinese proverb, imagine the vase broken. So in other words, just assume it's true and deal with it and get past it. Who gives a shit? But for me, I don't assume that I'm the best sexual
Beast.
that my wife has ever had in her whole. I mean, we met by the time we were 30. Who knows what happened between?
And
You know.
and I could probably say that too, because if you listen to last week's podcast about how I finished before my wife and left her in a in a very
Yeah.
discombobulated,
Yeah.
frustrated
Yeah.
state, which forced her to go on and buy
Right.
toys, which got shipped to my daughter's school, by the way.
Interestingly enough.
Yes. So go listen to last week's podcast. So yes, I mean, I myself too don't have this, I'm the best,
I'm like Juan Pablo. Every time my wife sees me, she just
Casanova.
It's like a freaking water spigot.
Yeah. A geyser.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
probably not.
So what does Damien want to do?
He wraps it up. He said, guys, I don't know how to feel. I also don't think I could ever put that out of my mind. He said, any advice? I love her. I love her.
Oh.
This is where the control comes in. She's got you. It's probably the best pussy you ever had.
Yeah.
She's got you whooped, and she
Yeah.
told you.
You're not the best she's ever had. He probably told her, he's probably, you're the best I've ever had. And she was like, the guy I was with last owns it.
Yeah.
You'll never get it.
So you're saying that if your wife, maybe it didn't come out of the blue, she didn't walk in and go, hi, honey. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not how, the conversation, but, you've probably heard about.
At this point, I probably wouldn't give a shit, to be honest with you.
I guess, Damien, when you get married and you've got,
I mean, we're so far down there. I mean, I'd be like, that's fantastic, honey.
you know
Good
what?
for you. I'd be like, that's
Just
I'm
let me
so glad
watch.
you had that experience.
Yeah. Just let me watch my show. Good for you.
But if we were 8 months in, it would be different. You know what I mean?
Devastating.
It'd be devastating. It'd be the final blow.
Right. I guess, Damien, when you're married, you've probably been insulted and received worse comments about you. That would be like, oh, she's being nice today. Good for you, honey. I'm so glad.
What are we having for dinner tonight, honey?
Yeah.
That's amazing. By the way, I love that. Anyway, chicken or steak?
Yeah. Oh, my God. What a great response, Ben. So, Damien, I'm trying to put myself in your position.
Run.
And, you really want to know?
Run. If this girl loves you and you're 8 months in, that means you're probably not engaged, but you're talking about it.
Or you've considered it. If you've
considered it, if you love her, maybe if you guys have talked, 8 months is such a critical phase because it's like you can break it off at that point in time and go find someone else that doesn't make you feel that way.
Right. Or you've got 8 months invested, and
Yeah,
for
but that's
some
nothing.
people, right. But for some, it's 8 months,
It's enough to know.
right?
It's enough to know. And just like you said, you just got to decide whether or not you're going to live with that, man.
Yeah, and at 8 months, that 8 to 12 month part, you probably if you're living separately, you're like one's lease is about to be up.
Everybody knows that their significant other has had a sex life prior to them.
So yeah, Damien, honestly, I would run. Because if she cared about you,
She's going to come at you with that kind of thing. That's
Right.
like, I'm done.
yeah,
I don't want to know that's knives, dude.
what benefit.
I don't want to know the other knives you got.
What benefit exactly?
Oh, that's
what
knives.
benefit is that going to do to your self-esteem,
Yeah.
your ego,
Yeah.
your confidence in that relationship?
You're going to enjoy sex now? Yeah.
Yeah, Damien.
And you know what? Maybe the truth is that's the way that she's just being honest. Well, God damn it, lie to me.
yeah.
I want to be lied to.
I do believe there is a line of too much honesty in a relationship. When your
Absolutely.
wife goes, how do I look in this? And I've made this mistake before. You don't go, not so good.
Not as good as you did 6 months ago, honey.
Right. You say, oh, yeah, yeah, baby, you look great. I'm fat. No, you're not, baby. Yeah, Damien, give us an update. You ask any one of your good friends, they're going to say, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Manfuzed Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Out.